Tonight on CTV News at 6, Team Canada shows a united front.
We're ready because we've been focusing on what we can control.
The PM and the Premiers meet to tackle a tariff threat.
Part of our success has been, I think, that we've gone directly to American businesses and consumers.
Downtown safety, another major issue facing construction-weary businesses.
Addressing overall homelessness, like having better shelter funding would probably help quite a bit.
And the Gold Rush roots of K-Days.
Klondike Days was a celebration of kind of our connection as the gateway to the north.
Hot, muggy, and a little bit smoky here in the city today. For tomorrow, we'll still be feeling the heat, and then Saturday, we could be seeing some big storms once again. I will have those forecast details. We'll play it out. Your 5 and 10-day forecast coming up.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. Canada's Prime Minister says everything is on the table for talks with the United States as the clock ticks towards new Trump tariffs. Mark Carney and the leaders of Canada's provinces and territories wrapped a meeting in Charlottetown today. Connor Hogg joins us now. Connor, what does an everything on the table approach mean for Alberta?
Jeff, Premier Danielle Smith has made it clear over the course of this conference that using oil as a bargaining chip with Trump doesn't work for Alberta. Smith says she's confident in Mark Carney's strategy for dealing with Trump and that the premiers want a comprehensive deal removing all U.S. tariffs. Smith says she believes Alberta's diplomacy has helped.
Part of our success has been, I think, that we've gone directly to American businesses and consumers, and they become our advocates. They know how valuable it is to have a free flow of energy across the border, how it keeps their consumer prices low, how it makes sure that they don't have gasoline or aviation fuel or diesel shortages.
Smith says finding those voices is the strongest argument for Canadian interests. She says energy, critical minerals, uranium, and food products have enjoyed a great trade relationship with the U.S. A public policy analyst says while Ontario has been disproportionately affected by Trump's trade policies compared to our province, cutting off energy to the U.S. is not something that should be entertained lightly.
We are interdependent on oil. And as much as the Americans need to buy it from us, we need to sell it to them. Not selling oil to the United States simply means that we stop producing it. And of course, that's our biggest source of foreign exchange, of exports, huge source of revenues, jobs. And so stopping oil production in Canada would almost certainly put us into a recession.
Heather Exner-Perot with the Macdonald-Laurier Institute says that Canada doesn't have the space to store more than a few days' worth of petroleum, and that using energy as a bargaining chip sends a negative message to other trading partners. Carney says any agreement with the U.S. has to be fair to both countries. There are 27 days left until the newest set of Trump tariffs, applying 50% penalties to a wide variety of products, come into effect. Jeff?
All right, Connor, thank you. Another rise in crude oil prices is leading to an increase in fuel prices. It also means a bump in revenue for the Alberta government. Renewed conflict in Iran has bumped West Texas intermediate prices from around $67 a barrel at the beginning of July to around $92 a barrel. Market analysts say it could keep climbing. The province recently issued a $100 energy rebate to help offset the impact of high oil prices. It's not known if there will be further help on the way. In a statement to CTV News, a spokesperson for the Finance Minister's office says it will continue to monitor oil prices. If they remain high, the government will determine a way to make sure relief gets to Albertans. The oil price volatility and renewed tariff threat is bringing renewed attention to Canada's oil and where it goes. The CEO of Trans Mountain spoke today of his optimism for a new West Coast pipeline. We'll have more on that later in the show. Some changes to Alberta's healthcare system are now in effect. Patients can choose to pay for preventative diagnostic services like private mammograms and cardiovascular tests. If the private test finds a life-threatening condition, the province will reimburse the patient for the cost of the service. The new order in council is meant to speed up wait times. Some critics argue it could take specialists away from the public field. There are no changes for tests with a doctor's referral. Those remain free to all Albertans. A downtown business says new investment in addiction services is a good first step to improving public disorder in Edmonton. As Curtis Goodrum reports, the owner has gone to great lengths to improve safety for his staff and customers.
This is how customers enter Custom Orthopedic and the Walk Shop on 102nd Avenue and 105th Street downtown.
There have been multiple incidents where we've had to call 211 for people in distress right out into the parking lot right here.
After several troubling encounters, owner Tim Moffitt decided to lock the store during business hours.
This is where we found one of the users passed out in the bathroom. We decided to have the installation done for the buzzer like a jewelry store. I mean, we're selling shoes. We're not even selling Jimmy Choos here, okay? We're selling orthopedic shoes.
Moffitt says reviews of his business include complaints about safety in the area.
Well, don't you have another location? And we're sorry, we chose Central so that everybody could get to us. And they constantly say, oh, I hate coming into downtown. It's too confusing and it's too scary.
He says more police patrols are needed.
It feels there's drugs, paraphernalia all down the back lane here. People that are driving down here, they get harassed quite often.
Yesterday, the province announced $30 million in funding for 400 recovery beds in the Edmonton area. Improving business, cited as one reason for the investment.
We need to support the ones that are just setting up. We need to support the ones that have been there for a long time as they're dealing with different challenges.
You can't even get people to come down. And we have to change that because we have to be compassionate for the people, but we also have to be compassionate for the businesses.
Moffitt says this is a positive move, but more is needed.
It's a good start, but honestly, addressing overall homelessness, like having better shelter funding would probably help quite a bit.
The new recovery beds are expected to start opening next year. Curtis Goodrum, CTV News, Edmonton.
Police have charged a 22-year-old man with second-degree murder in what they call an intimate partner homicide. 2 weeks ago, Edmonton police were called to a home in southeast Edmonton. A 23-year-old woman was found unresponsive with suspicious injuries. She died a few days later in hospital. The medical examiner's office says an autopsy confirms she was strangled. Police say they're not looking for any additional suspects. 3 members of the Canadian Army were injured during a training exercise on the Athabasca Glacier in Jasper National Park. On Friday, they were doing crevasse rescue training at the Columbia Icefield. Officials say the 3-person rope team fell about 20 meters into a crevasse. They were all injured but in stable condition when they were flown to hospital in Jasper. The military says because this type of training is inherently high risk, rescue people are on standby, which is why the injured personnel were quickly helped. The Northern Tornadoes Project has classified a tornado near Robb as an EF2. It happened last Friday. Researchers estimate the wind speed to be about 190 kilometers an hour. They also believe it traveled about 10 kilometers. The Northern Tornadoes Project also released aerial photos of the damaged area. There have been 27 tornadoes reported in Alberta recently, the most active season in the past decade. Edmonton skies have been lighting up this month with thousands of lightning strikes recorded so far. One of those strikes scarred the sidewalk outside of Northwest Elementary School, and people are now stopping by to see the damage in person. Narman Issa has more.
She's sticking her nose right in it. Mike and Janet Jeffrey, along with their dog Utah, drove from St. Albert to the school in Northwest Edmonton to see a sidewalk. So I wanted to come check it out just to see what the damage was. Earlier this week, lightning struck the pavement, leaving behind a small crater. It also affected a nearby fire hydrant halfway down the block.
I think it's incredible the power that it had, and it looks like slight damage, but there's a hole in the concrete.
The city has marked the spot as underground work is needed. The hydrant is in working order. EPCOR cleaned it up, saying it was only damaged on the exterior.
Most often if it hits a tree or something, the tree cracks and you don't really see anything, where this one you can actually see some evidence of it, or more evidence.
It's been a stormy July. Environment Canada says roughly 11,000 lightning strikes have been recorded so far this month, a major jump from July 2024 and July 2025. Each saw about 2,000 strikes recorded.
We've got a lot of moisture in the region. Still very humid. You can feel it when you're outside. It's very muggy.
CTV meteorologist Corey Adel says wet weather and heat is the perfect storm for lightning shows.
So we've had a lot of really big turbulent storms, very moisture driven. And the more moisture that you have in these storms, the bigger they get and the more active they become and the more electrically charged as well.
The city says it plans on preserving the portion of sidewalk that was struck. It's planning to give it to the University of Alberta for research purposes.
Probably had a lot of visitors, huh?
A neighborhood attraction sparking a lot of attention. Naranisa, CTV News, Edmonton.
As the hot weather settles in, it comes with a warning for pet owners. If you're going shopping or someplace that doesn't allow pets inside, leave them at home, not the car. As CTV's Amanda Anderson reports, the city's animal control officers hope new fines will mean fewer incidents.
The person who recorded this video last weekend and posted it to social media says a dog was left inside the SUV for half an hour before Edmonton firefighters broke the window to get inside.
In a matter of minutes, the temperature within a vehicle can rise to dangerous levels, making it unsafe for animals.
Animal control officers say cracking a window, parking in the shade, or under a parkade like this doesn't help.
The Environment Canada temperature currently, I believe, is 23 degrees Celsius. And looking into the vehicle, I can already see from the several minutes that it was here, we've already climbed to 28, 29.
An animal in immediate distress may be seen panting excessively, drooling, convulsing, or lose consciousness. Vomiting and diarrhea are other signs.
If the animal is in immediate distress, call 911. If the animal owner cannot be found and the animal is believed to be unattended in a health-threatening situation in high temperatures, call 311 for peace officer attendance.
Animal control officers responded to 79 complaints about dogs left in hot vehicles last year. An additional 50 calls were made to police.
99% of normal dog owners don't do it out of badness. They do it because they made a mistake and they thought they had more time than they did.
Depending on the severity of the situation, responding officers have discretion when it comes to consequences.
It can go into parts of the criminal code for causing an animal to be in suffering. So you can be charged criminally for this. And in all cases, you can have your animal seized as well.
Pet owners could also face warnings or fines. Under the new Animal Care and Control bylaw, the fine is $500 and goes up to $1,000 for each subsequent offense.
I hope that is a big deterrent to pet owners.
With 37 complaints so far this year, they hope educating people of the dangers means less calls for rescues like this. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
The playoff push is on for the Edmonton Stingers. The next two games are crucial to the team's playoff run this season. The Stingers play the Calgary Surge tomorrow in Calgary, then again in Edmonton Sunday. The Stingers go into the series with the record 8 wins, 11 losses. The team has to win one of the next two games to secure a playoff spot.
With it being a single elimination format this year, we need as many live playoff reps as possible with high intensity and high stakes. So for us, we're looking at it like an opportunity to prepare for the postseason.
Additionally, the Stingers have signed guard Kendrick Ray for the rest of the season. The CEBL playoffs start August the 6th. The final whistle has blown on an attempt at the world's longest soccer game at K-Days. It was also a fundraiser for Alberta Dreams, which helps fulfill wishes of kids with severe illnesses. Organizers say the record to beat was 60 hours. This game lasted for 72. We're still waiting to find out how much money the game raised for Alberta Dreams. All right, Corey, nice and warm out today, but that smoke is stubborn. It's just hanging on.
Yeah, it hasn't gone away yet, and it looks like it'll be sticking around a little bit for tomorrow. As we look outside right now, we can see a little bit of blue sky. This is down at K-Days on the grounds. As we look up towards the sky, a little bit of blue there, but still a bit of a haze. But it doesn't seem to be stopping people from getting out there and enjoying. Here's another vantage point. As we look west through the river valley, the haze a little bit more visible there. Temperature, we are at 28. Humidex value's fallen a little bit. It was feeling like 32. It now feels like 29, so fairly close to the actual temperature. As we take a look, our box is in red. We don't have a final temperature yet, but we will add another day to the above average for today. At this point, 28, but we could possibly still hit 29. As we take a look at temperatures in the region, 26 Elk Island, 26 at the airport, 25 in Stony Plain. As far as the humidity, it does feel a little bit warmer, feeling 5 degrees warmer at the airport as well as in Elk Island, feeling like 31 with temperatures of 26. For us here in Edmonton tonight, Mostly clear, just a little bit of smoke still. 17 to start off tomorrow with a chance of fog. As we go throughout tomorrow, mainly sunny sky. 30 for a high. It'll feel like 34. So a little bit of a humidex value for tomorrow. And then as we take a look at Saturday, sun and cloud, 18 to start, 28 for a high. Mid and late day, it looks like as we go throughout this upper hour and evening, possible thunderstorms. We could see some good storms. We've got the moisture, we've got the heat, so we'll see how that plays out Saturday. And then Sunday, a slight chance of showers with a high of 24. Next time we chat weather, I have your 5 and 10-day forecasts.
Sounds great. Thank you, Corey. Still ahead, debate over an Indigenous training program in Alberta's legal community.
It's not about influencing anybody, it's about telling you the history of Alberta and Canada.
Mixed reaction to new provincial rules that make the training no longer mandatory. And
I don't have any skin in the game. I don't get anything if you buy a car. I just love it.
A nonprofit providing a low-pressure environment to learn about the pros and cons of going electric.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
A requirement for Alberta lawyers to complete Indigenous education training is being dropped under a new provincial law, sparking debate within the legal community about whether the training is necessary. CTV's Mark Villani has more.
Nicole Johnston spent more than a decade advocating for her family through the justice system following the 2014 killing of her nephew, Colton Crowshoe. She says that experience showed her why lawyers need a deeper understanding of First Nations history, rights, and calls to action.
We're really now taking a step backwards.
An Indigenous education course known as The Path will now be voluntary for new Alberta lawyers and those transferring from other jurisdictions. The change comes as part of the Alberta government's Regulated Professions Neutrality Act, taking effect on September 1st. The act ends the ability for regulators to require mandatory education or training unrelated to professional competence or ethics, but does not prevent or limit professionals from undertaking training if they choose to do so. Reconciliation remains a priority for Alberta's government. And some Calgary lawyers like Glenn Blackett agree with the decision. He says mandated Indigenous training courses are being used to influence broader social or political objectives.
The Law Society, which regulates lawyers, has decided that they're going to use their regulatory power not to make sure that lawyers uphold the law, but really to incentivize lawyers to change the law. And that's not the lawyer's job.
It's not about influencing anybody, it's about telling you the history of Alberta and Canada.
The PATH training course was created in response to the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's Call to Action 27, asking law societies to educate lawyers on Indigenous rights, treaties, residential schools, and Indigenous law.
It was designed essentially to help them understand some of the systemic issues that may have affected their clients and to make sure that those things are presented.
The Law Society of Alberta says over 10,500 of its lawyers completed the PATH over the past 5 years. As a result, the Law Society is confident that we have responded to this call to action in a meaningful way. Still, opinions are divided.
The lawyer's job is to be loyal to the law and the Constitution and be loyal to the client's interests.
We need to understand our history.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
The province says the PATH Indigenous training course will remain available at no cost to Alberta lawyers still interested in taking the education. A nonprofit organization is inviting drivers to come take a ride in an EV. You can learn more about the pros and cons of shifting away from fossil fuels. Noel Rashog has more.
Sorry for all the noise, it's gas.
Richard Perrone has been considering buying an electric vehicle for years.
Back in 22, in the middle of COVID, I was thinking about getting something in 26. The market has changed, the political climate has changed. Now I'm thinking about buying one in 2031.
He's unsure when the right time is to buy or what he needs to know. That's why he's here today, meeting with Plug and Drive to learn more.
You can only get so much on the internet.
Plug and Drive is a not-for-profit set up in stations like this across the country, letting people learn and see for themselves without the pressure of a car salesperson.
And so this way you're getting an answer from someone who really, I don't have any skin in the game. I don't get anything if you buy a car. I just love it. And so I want to share that with you, that they're awesome and fun, and I wouldn't ever go back to gas.
Plug and Drive isn't just educating people about these vehicles. They've got half of a dozen EVs here, and they're letting participants take them out for a spin.
Accelerate quite a bit more than your traditional gas car. It's just like a normal car. Yeah.
Some of the challenges of electric vehicles, including range, charger availability, and Edmonton's cold climate, still have some drivers hesitant.
I park outside. I never plug in. Every single time my car starts, and within 2 minutes it's warm. I will take that every day above a gas car where you have to wait for the heat to be generated.
However, there's at least one disadvantage.
You will lose, if it's minus 30, you will lose about 30% of your range when you're in the winter.
Plug and Drive will be traveling across Alberta for the next 6 weeks.
Light right onto Highway 2 South.
Expanding EV education across the province. Noah Rashog, CTV News, Edmonton.
Still ahead, K-Days back in the day. Take a walk down Midway Memory Lane as the festival celebrates its Klondike roots.
Feeling the heat once again today here in the Edmonton area. Also, the smoke hanging around. Will it improve as we go throughout tomorrow? And what kind of storms can we expect on the weekend? I'll have those details if you're expecting to or planning on going down to the grounds, what you need to plan for this weekend.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
K-Days has come a long way from centering around the gold rush in the Wild West. Visitors are busy enjoying the modern-day festivities on the K-Days grounds on a day the Midway honored its past while looking towards the future. Here's Miriam Valdez-Carletti.
Klondike Park is a blast from the past. Searching for something shiny at the gold rush is just one way to embrace where K-Days all started.
Klondike Days was a celebration of kind of our connection as the gateway to the north, and that included the gold rush. And so even me, when I was 5 years old, I can remember coming here and panning for gold with my family.
And we're both huge crystal fiends. We're really into rocks, so this is the highlight for us.
The Midway celebrated its gold rush heritage with themed entertainment. While many rides have evolved since this, the joy on people's faces is the same over the years.
I think a lot of people come to K-Days because they came here as a kid. And they want to relive those memories, you know, that when they were kids, their mom and dads brought them down here and went on the merry-go-round and the Ferris wheel.
Klondike Mike is a big staple at K-Days, a reminder of where the Midway started nearly 150 years ago.
Klondike Mike, a 36-foot fiberglass statue, symbol of Klondike Days, greets visitors at the main gate of the fairground.
It's a really great celebration of kind of the deep history that we have here in Edmonton that sometimes we forget about as we grow as a new city.
Some carnival goers don't want to forget and are holding on to the K in K-Days.
I always dress up every year because Klondike Days is Klondike Days to me. I grew up with it, and I love Klondike Days when people dressed up.
It's really spectacular, especially on Sundays. I can remember Sundays, everybody would be all decked out in their Klondike wear, coming down here and having a great day.
Organizers are looking ahead to 2029, when the Midway will be celebrating 150 years of entertainment and nostalgia.
We have been a fair in Edmonton since before Edmonton was officially a city.
The celebration will be a chance to further reflect on the festival's iconic history. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
150 years. I did not know that. That's impressive.
It's very impressive, yeah. People have been having fun for a long time. If you're going down this Saturday, though, Jeff, just be mindful that conditions could change. There's a risk of thunderstorms as we go throughout mid and later parts of Saturday. So the thunderstorm risk, it's back in the forecast right now as we look through the River Valley Skycam. There's the riverboat, just taking a trip up the river, looking quite nice out there, getting a nice reflection off the North Saskatchewan, but it's a little bit of an orange tint to it. We are feeling the smoke still here in the city. We are no longer under an air quality warning, so that is good, but there's still one that remains in southern areas of the province. Take a look at this. So we have improved a little bit from a few days ago. Still a moderate health, risk of 4 for the rest of today, a 5 for tomorrow. But Calgary into the high category for risk. 7 today, 7 tomorrow. No longer are they getting smoke from the north. They're actually starting to see smoke come across from BC into southern areas of the province. So Banff, Canmore, Calgary, seeing a little bit more smoke in those areas now coming across from BC. And they are under an air quality advisory. Jasper, Rocky, Banff, Calgary, Airdrie as well. So poor air quality in those areas, and that's coming across from BC. Heat warning in place for Calgary. We are also under the heat warning here in Edmonton, areas to the east and the south, all the way out towards Lloyd. So daytime highs 29 and above, overnight lows 14 and above. We'll probably see this drop Saturday into Sunday. And then St. Paul up towards Fort McMurray, Fort Mackay, severe thunderstorm watch in place in those areas. Most of the storms now moving off into Saskatchewan. We can see a lot of lightning associated with that, calming down a little bit towards Fort McMurray. Up towards Peace River, partly cloudy in Grand Prairie, a little bit more cloud to the south. Stettler, Coronation, Provo, seeing some showers come through those areas. For us here in Edmonton, mostly clear. Again, we just have that smoke haze. And as we take a look at the future cast, mostly clear throughout the rest of the evening and overnight period. A lot of sun as we go throughout Friday, and then areas in the north could see some scattered thunderstorms. So north of the city for tomorrow as we go into the supper hour, and then those will track eastward. We shouldn't see anything like that here in the Edmonton area tomorrow, but it's Saturday where we run the risk. Right now we are at 28. Medicine Hat, Lethbridge 33, up to the north, Fort McMurray sitting at 21. For us here in Edmonton overnight tonight, we're looking for a low of 17, 30 for tomorrow. The sun will be strong, the sun that makes its way through, and it'll feel warmer. The humidex value for tomorrow is 34, so feeling quite a bit warmer for tomorrow. Saturday, supper hour and evening, good chance of seeing some thunderstorms once again. So if you have plans Saturday night, be prepared to head inside. 28 for a high, 24 on Sunday with a slight chance of showers, then 25 Monday. Tuesday, a chance of thunderstorms and a high of 26. The rest of next week, temperatures 26, 27 degrees. As we head into the beginning of August, could see temperatures drop off, but that's still a ways away. Again, 30 tomorrow, and a chance of thunderstorms again once again as we go throughout Saturday, Jeff.
All right, thank you, Corey. Still ahead on CTV News at 6, the widening war in the Middle East.
They will pay a very heavy price for the things they're doing. They're already paying a very heavy price.
Another critical shipping route closed as the U.S. and Iran trade attacks. And later,
I think it's really, amazing of Matt to just kind of throw a little recognition. And I hope it shines more of a light on, stunt actors.
Hollywood star Matt Damon's praise for his Canadian female stunt double. Stay with us. Oil price volatility has put Canada's supply in sharper focus. Today we got a sense of what's at stake for a new pipeline from Alberta to the West Coast when CTV News spoke to the CEO of Trans Mountain, the Crown Corporation that would run it. Mike Lecouture tells us what he had to say.
I certainly think it can be built. We already have built something like it.
The CEO of Trans Mountain believes the newly proposed pipeline can and will be built.
We were talking about the possibility of another pipeline.
In an exclusive interview with CTV News, Mark Mackey suggested the cost would be similar to the first pipeline, which was $34 billion. But he says there is a very compelling case for a new pipeline from Alberta to BC's coast.
This one is a little longer, a little bigger, more capacity than what Trans Mountain built before. But I think it's very necessary in the global context that we live in today.
The federal and provincial governments are investing in the project with the help of the Crown Corporation that Mackey heads up. Pembina Pipeline Corp has also agreed to a potential 10% stake. Prime Minister Mark Carney has also referred the pipeline to the Federal Major Projects Office for approval. Carney has pointed to the federally owned Trans Mountain Pipeline as an example of a project that is working, and Mackey agrees.
We paid $1.7 billion into the Treasury last year in dividends and interest. We'll beat that this year. You'll probably reinvest some capital in the years thereafter. This is going to be a very profitable investment for the country, the legacy Trans Mountain. I expect the new system to be the same. And the overall economic impact that system will enable is ginormous to the country.
Asked if he believes if the federal government should sell the pipeline that it already owns, Mackey said Canada should hold on to it, adding it's far too strategic to the country. Mike Lecouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
The Prime Minister says everything is on the table and is promising to do whatever it takes to deal with U.S. President Donald Trump's tariff plans. The latest threat added a sense of urgency as the PM sat face-to-face with Canada's provincial and territorial leaders today. Here's CTV's Rachel Ayala with what came of the high-stakes sit-down.
Under pressure to plot Canada's path through the latest escalation of the trade war with the United States, Prime Minister Mark Carney met with premiers today to strategize.
Canadian governments around this table will do whatever it takes to defend and support our families, our workers, and our businesses.
Morning. Provincial and territorial leaders went into the meeting wanting the Canadian government to articulate how they intend to get the Americans to the table.
With a strong plan, Team Canada, led by the Prime Minister.
And what happens if he doesn't have a strong plan today?
Well, I don't expect him to have the T's crossed and I's dotted, but it's a Team Canada approach led by the Prime Minister.
Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc and Chief Negotiator Janice Charette joined today's talks. And hours later, First Ministers emerged united and with new resolve.
We're ready. We're ready because we have been focusing on what we can control. And that's building our strength at home.
As the clock ticks towards U.S. President Donald Trump's new tariffs coming into effect, Carney said he sees the current deadline as both a potential endgame, but also just another pressure tactic.
Everything's on the table if there's no agreement, depending on the outcome of the negotiations.
And premiers, while initially differing on retaliation, agreed the best outcome would be to get a comprehensive deal that provides relief for the full range of tariff-affected sectors.
97% of our goods cross the border without tariffs, but we'd like it to be 100%. And we'd like it to be the same way for the rest of the country as well.
The Prime Minister was also pressed to keep provinces in the loop as negotiations intensify.
Canada's at its best when provinces and territories and the federal government work together.
Carney and the premiers also agreed to keep up efforts to strengthen the domestic economy, to reduce Canada's reliance on the United States long term, from breaking down even more interprovincial trade barriers to building more major energy projects. Rachel Ayala, CTV News, Charlottetown.
Moving from economic to military conflict, the war in the Middle East is expanding as feared when the bombing began. As ABC's Rena Roy reports, an Iran-backed entity has blocked another major shipping route in the region.
CENTCOM releasing this video saying the U.S. struck Iranian military targets overnight. Human rights activists in Iran say there's been nearly 3,700 Iranian casualties since February.
We do it because we have to do it because we cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon.
Meanwhile, Iranian-backed militants in Yemen taking aim at 2 Saudi oil tankers in the Red Sea in an attempt to block international shipping, choking another key waterway that could have ripple effects for the world economy. President Trump saying the U.S. will inflict, quote, major military punishment on Iran and the Houthis if the attacks continue. Iran also threatening tankers in the Strait of Hormuz.
They will pay a very heavy price for the things they're doing. They're already paying a very heavy price. They're probably not ready to do a deal yet, but they will be soon because the price they're paying is very high despite their tough talk.
Trump warning that for every Iranian strike on a ship in the Strait of Hormuz, the U.S. will bomb and destroy one bridge or power plant inside Iran. Deliberately targeting civilian infrastructure is a potential war crime under international law.
Donald Trump says there is a new condition on the landmark nuclear energy deal with Saudi Arabia. This morning, he revealed the Saudis must sign the Abraham Accords for the deal to go through. That means Saudi Arabia would have to officially recognize the state of Israel.
I won't get ahead of the president's conversations, but this is something that he feels very strongly about and has spoken about it in the past and will continue to uphold.
As of this morning, the White House press secretary said President Trump had yet to speak to the Saudi crown prince about the condition. The Abraham Accords are a series of agreements meant to normalize relations between some Middle Eastern countries and Israel. The wildfire situation in British Columbia is worsening. A new fire has expanded rapidly near Boston Bar, where hundreds of properties are under evacuation order and Highway 1 remains closed.
You know, you can see the sparks are falling everywhere. There's a tree on fire.
Doorbell cameras capture the ferocity of the Brunswick Fire Complex near Boston Bar. The new Anderson Creek fire has joined with 3 others burning out of control near the community. That community, like several others in the province, is under an evacuation order as crews battle at least 35 out-of-control fires. The European Union is fining Google nearly $1.5 billion. It's accusing the company of breaking digital trust regulations by pushing consumers towards its own apps and services, harming its competitors.
In the EU, businesses have the right to compete fairly. Gatekeepers have the obligation to ensure a level playing field, and consumers the right to choose for cheaper alternative offers.
It's the latest in a major crackdown on big tech by the EU. Officials accuse Google of blocking European innovation and stifling competition. Google says the regulations degrade its product and will negatively impact European consumers. It says it's been forced to strip away some search features and dismantle safety protections for Google Play. Still ahead, one city trying to make access to fresh fruits and vegetables a walk in the park.
We've chosen locations where hopefully it will provide people who need a healthy snack that snack.
Also next, dinner and a show from shredding sunfish to diving for dolphins. Orca whales are showing off their hunting skills. And there's a live look at the K-Days Midway. Supper time for a lot of people, enjoying some early evening sunshine and not as much smoke as we've seen in recent days. Stay with us. Looking at the markets, the Canadian dollar rose more than a cent today, trading for more than 72 cents U.S. Oil was up more than $5, closing at $92 U.S. a barrel. Gold dropped $102. On the stock market, the TSX lost 292 points. The Dow Jones down 506 points on the day. The Canadian government is urging anyone traveling to the U.S. to be cautious because of the high-profile outbreak of cyclosporiasis. The stomach-upsetting outbreak has seen thousands of suspected cases linked to contaminated lettuce. Ottawa has raised its travel advisory for the parasite in the U.S. to orange. Travelers are being urged to thoroughly wash fresh fruits and vegetables, even if they're labeled as pre-washed. Canada has no known outbreaks, though several cases have been identified in Alberta, not considered linked to the American outbreak. Scientists are trying to use genetically modified flies to battle the spread of screwworms. The flesh-eating parasitic maggot is threatening cattle stock in the U.S. The new experiment is happening in Panama. Male screwworm flies that have been genetically modified to be sterile will be released into the environment to mate with females. Those females will lay unfertilized eggs, hopefully causing the screwworm population to decline. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency says screwworms are not present in Canada. Sky-high food prices have inspired one Canadian city to try out a creative homegrown solution. CTV's Alison Bamford has more on Saskatoon's plan to get healthy food from park to table.
These have just started blooming as well.
On a rainy walk through the park, Shannon Dick can see her passion project flourishing.
They're not going to produce very much for the next few years, but it's nice to see the potential.
15 different kinds of fruits, vegetables, and herbs are planted throughout this Saskatoon park.
There's some haskaps, and this is where some of the native plants are as well.
It's one of two so-called food forests the city is testing out.
We've chosen locations where hopefully it will provide people who need a healthy snack that snack.
The city planted the forests in lower income neighborhoods that lack nearby grocery stores, hoping to address the growing problem of food insecurity.
It will provide access and education, all those kinds of things, but it probably won't have a lasting impact on the number of folks coming through our doors.
Inflation has driven up the cost of fresh fruits and vegetables, items that aren't always available at the Saskatoon Food Bank.
Breaking down barriers to people being able to access the kinds of fruits and perhaps vegetables that can be grown here in Saskatchewan, all of that is really important.
The food forests aren't open to the public just yet, which is why there's still a fence around them. The city says they want the plants to grow for 2 years before the fruit is up for grabs.
Some of the fruit trees and shrubs, they don't produce fruit for a few years anyway, so this is to just keep them protected.
The Nicotine family lives in the neighborhood, and the kids are already excited to pick fresh fruit for their future picnics.
I'd pick some raspberries probably. They should do that in more places.
If these forests are successful, Dick says the city could plant more down the road.
It'll be a bit of an experiment. This is relatively new for us, but we'll keep an eye on it.
And see how it grows. Alison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Researchers have released video of newly documented hunting behavior in orcas in the Pacific Ocean. Divers captured underwater footage of one orca holding a sunfish by the tail while another slammed into it. The fish bursts into pieces. The findings were published in the journal Frontiers in Ethology. Researchers believe the orcas do this in order to share the meal with younger members of the pod or possibly just for fun. Meantime, whale watchers off the California coast got a rare show this week when a pod of orcas were spotted leaping from the water while hunting dolphins. This video captured the hunt. As tourists watched the orcas from a whale watching vessel, this particular pod of killer whales are recognized on the west coast and are known as the CA-140B family. Still ahead, a wrestler turned actor joins the lineup for Edmonton's Comic Expo.
What superhero are you?
Peacemaker.
Get out of here! There's no superhero called Peacemaker!
Dude, I'm famous.
Stay with us. We've got another full night of great shows for you tonight on CTV.
Contrary to his catchphrase, Edmontonians will be able to see John Cena at the Edmonton Expo.
What superhero are you?
Peacemaker.
Get out of here! There's no superhero called Peacemaker!
Dude, I'm famous.
The star of Peacemaker, Suicide Squad, and more made a name for himself as a wrestler before transitioning to acting. He'll be available for autographs and photos with fans, as well as take the stage for John Cena Live. Tickets for those events go on sale Tuesday. He'll join previously announced guests, including Ron Perlman and several cast members from The Boys at the Comics and Entertainment Expo. The expo runs September 18th to 20th. A Canadian stunt woman is receiving praise for her performance doubling for Matt Damon during Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey.
My double was a woman, a female stunt performer who had the greatest arms I've ever seen.
Damon gave props to Vancouver's Devin Dalton during a recent podcast interview. The 4'6" stunt performer stood in for Damon during a scene where Odysseus and his crew take on a tribe of cannibalistic giants. She tells CTV News she was humbled by the praise.
I think it's really, amazing of Matt to just kind of throw a little recognition. And I hope it shines more of a light on like stunt actors and just the work that we do. And then also I just was really stoked that, as a female, just kind of celebrating being strong and that was really important to me too.
Dalton has more than 90 credits, including in the movie Weapons and the TV series The Last of Us.
She is fit.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yep. Putting us to shame, Corey.
Don't speak for both of us now. Just as we look outside right now. 30 for tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be good, Jeff. We're going to be seeing a lot of sun, still a little bit of smoke, but it's going to be quite nice. And then Saturday is the day to watch. For people who've had basements flooded, Saturday night, there's a chance that we could see some storms once again. So you just want to keep an eye on the sky for changing conditions. There's a potential that we could see some good storms Saturday night. 28 for a high. 24 on Sunday, slight chance of showers, and then 25 on Monday. Chance of thunderstorms on Tuesday, 26.
All right. Thank you, Corey, and thank you very much for sharing your time with us. For news anytime, check out our website, ctvnewsedmonton.ca. Have a good night, everyone.